So here I am in the shop, starting, or I should say, continuing the plumbing job for the upstairs apartment, guest house, mother-in-law suite, whatever you want to call it. Got my big 4-inch pipe here coming up, and it goes down into the ground there with into the concrete and out to the septic. But got my drain pipes coming through here, and some of you guys are like, why in the heck would this guy pop these nice, ugly holes through the roof of his nice, somewhat nice shop? Well, so the I don't really, the floor was already finished upstairs, or had OSB on there, some flooring. So I didn't really want to have to drill horizontally through all the trusses and lose some strength there. So rather than do that, I figure I'll just drop the drain pipes down and come straight over that way. Well, not straight, but obviously put a slope there so I can get some gravity feed to the line all the way across. So that's kind of what I'm doing. But what brings me here is the good old Honda Snowblower again. Here we are, July, and I have not ran this thing for probably coming up on 5 months now. Hasn't started it, nothing. So we're going to do a nice cold start on the Honda HS724 and see how many tugs she takes to start after 4 months, 5 months of bad ownership. I mean, did have ethanol-free gas in there with some stable already. I always keep that... always keep stable in any of my ethanol-free small engine gas just right off the bat. But let's go ahead and flip on our fuel valve here. There we go. So fuel is on. Looks good there. Everything looks tight. Fuel cap's tight. So we're gonna go to choke it. Neutral. Not that you really need it. Switch our key to on, and I guess we'll give her a shot here. See if she starts on how many pulls it takes. 1, 2 pulls. Yeah! Get some of that! There we go. Little turtle, turtle, turtle. Now what we're doing here is I'm gonna, sorry about that. I need to create some more space in here to get these drain pipes put up. We're gonna open up our base here and bring it over to the other side where it probably won't be used for another 4 or 5 months. Who knows? Purrs like a kitten. Look at that. It's a good sized bug. No, little buggy. No. Yeah. Nope. Alright. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring that snowblower over. Oh, it's starting to sprinkle from where, I'm not sure. But anyways, got a problem with our snowblower here. So, got no drive gear. Oh, wait, here I am. Being a ding-dong. We have to engage our transmission. There we go. Engage. Back her down. Turn our fuel back off. And there we go. So, that speaks to me volumes. Haven't started it in, like I said, probably 5 months. Fires second pull. Good old Honda snowblower. In the tracked ones, I've used the ones with tires. Some people swear by them. The tracks totally do the trick. I mean, if you got any hills to push or any deep snow, that is the way to go. Now, obviously, I'll just run through the controls here for anybody who's not too familiar with these. And don't get intimidated by one of these snowblowers, because my gosh, they are easy to operate. My mom, she's in her, how old is she? She's in her late 60s, and she's got a model like this from the 80s. It's a little bit wider. I think it's got a 30-inch clearing path, but she still uses it. I mean, we've been through more internal parts in the Auger than we know what to do with. But so you got your forward and reverse gears and speeds, I should say. It's because it's not gears, it's hydrostatic. You got your choke. You got your choke, your engine speed here. And this adjustment I don't really use much at all, and most of the time people complain about this braking. Typically it's like on the older snowblower, like the Honda my mom has, that's actually a fixed unit. You got to go and just adjust the nut. They never came with this cable actuated system to raise it up and down. And so, like I said, don't need to touch that much. You can leave that in the on position all the time if you wanted. When you're going, you can engage the auger, and then once you engage the auger, you can engage your drive clutch on the other side and then let go of the auger handle, and it'll stay engaged. So that way, if it's cold out or you need to do something else with that other hand, such as rotating your chute, you can. So that's kind of a nice feature with those. And I know that's the same with a couple Aries models I've used in an old Craftsman as well. But then when you let go of the one drive clutch, that obviously disengages your auger as well. Got your standard pull handle. One thing that a lot of people never mess with, and my mom, she's been using that other snowblower for decades, she's never known what that little pedal does. One other thing to note down here, we've got the transmission release lever. It's located in a couple different spots on other blowers, but this is, you can release it if you need to push the thing around manually. So when I don't need to fire up and kind of just move her over a few feet, that's the way to go. But this guy on the back, right now, just by kind of pushing it lightly with the finger up and down on the handle here, you get quite a bit of movement. It's just kind of, you might say, level, floating level, just kind of balancing equally on the tracks. Not quite on the auger, just right in the middle is where all the weight is on the tracks. Now, that's just good for nice flat, open ground, maybe some light snow. Now, if you need to really dig in or go up a hill, what you can do is push down on this guy with your foot, raise her up, the whole unit, lift it, drop your foot out, and bam. Now, all the weight is on the rear of the track, with the front kind of up free spinning, which is putting down force on the blade in the auger assembly there. So pretty much I run most of the time on the midway setting. That's the max setting. There's 3 settings on your foot pedal there for that adjustment. Obviously here you've got your oil You know, standard plug wire there. I did have to replace the coil on this a while back. One thing interesting with these is that they don't come with any type of actual air filter. So inside of here, when you pull off your wing nut, there's not an actual filter element. I guess they think when you're operating in the snow, it's not going to be dusty and you don't need that, but kind of always something that interests me on that subject. Auger up here. All of them are different designs with shear pins. These are the most unique pin style I've ever seen. So on this model, you've got a shear pin that goes through the shaft, and then this plastic composite piece here actually bolts. See if we can focus in on it here, or on the other side. There's a bolt that goes through into this actual auger piece, and that's what holds that on. So every time I've broken a shear pin with this, which is twice, I've had to, this is what's broken rather than the actual pin, which has kind of puzzled me. And this design is different than the one on the older Honda snowblower that my mother has. I definitely prefer her design to this, I don't know, suspect design myself. But this thing, you know, shoot, you got your blade down below. You don't ever want it really necessarily grinding right on the surface, just a little bit above the surface on that. So anyways, kind of my Honda snowblower fetish, just super reliable and easy to operate. So they are worth every penny. I picked this one up off of a guy on Craigslist for $600. It's a 2-owner unit, and the guy I bought it from actually had never used it. Came with the house he bought from an old retired lady, and I don't, by the look of it, she didn't use it at all. I mean, when I got it, there was not a single scratch inside the back, or anywhere inside of here. But now, I mean, I've kind of worn it out. Well, not really worn it out, but I put it to use finally. And this is, I believe, a 2006 or 7 model year. I would have to check on my stamp, but let's see here. Yeah, 2007. Focus, baby. 2007. You can kind of see it up there. And like I said, she just runs good. I believe this is the, can't even remember the engine size on this one. I think it's the 200 if I do recall. But either way, good unit, highly recommend if you can pick one up for anything that's in in this good of a condition. I mean, I would have probably paid $1,000 had I had it. But I was quick on the Craigslist email and went and fetched her the next morning bright and early. So they can be had for a great deal if you really try to look for them. Take it easy. Thanks.